Hey guys, today I bring you round 8 of Open San Sebastian. And after a tough loss in round 7, I got paired up against a 1927 rated player. So, pretty strong. I was like, really? I just lost the game. I was expecting someone lower rated, but I get it with the 1900s. And I was like, okay, I guess like I signed up for this tournament, so what was I expecting? But yeah, okay. I do prefer to play higher rated opponents. So let's see. My opponent, she was Anna Kierkjebo. I probably butchered the name so badly. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. She was Norwegian. She had the black pieces. I had the white pieces, and I started with d4. She went knight f6, knight c3, d5 and bishop f4. I went for my Jobava London. I was playing this for this tournament, and yeah, I was having some good results so far. I didn't lose any game with the Jobava. So here she plays c6, and yeah, I was already kind of out of book, you can say. I wasn't expecting this setup from her. She only had one game in the job Avalon, and then she played other thing. So yeah, I was just relying in my experience from last summer. So here I went d3, she went g6, the Fianchetto, version to deal with the job Avalon, which I feel like is a really good option, probably one of the most solid ones to fight the Jobava and to neutralize it. Here I went h3. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think lately people have been exploring this option of h4. I think also in the Naroditsky slash Bortnik job Avalon. I think they are kind of recommending this type of move. I don't know if it is exactly here, but they are going for h4, a little more aggressive. But I went h3. This is what I knew, and yeah, the point of this move is really just to avoid losing the bishop after knight h5, just retreating the bishop. And the position is kind of slow, so you can afford to make those type of moves. Bishop g7, knight f3, knight bd7, and here I went bishop e2. I could have gone bishop e3, bishop d3, excuse me, but yeah, in this type of positions, I'm always afraid of getting hit with e5, and then he's threatening, or she's threatening e4 at some point, forking the two pieces. So yeah, and the bishop on d3 is looking at this Fianchetto structure, so I guess e2 is better placed in my opinion. Here she went castle, I went castle, and rook e8. And here, I think the position really starts. So far we just develop pieces castled. In here, I make a mistake, I would say. Probably an inaccuracy. Mistake would be a little bit too much. But here I play knight e5, which it's an inaccuracy for sure. The point of this move was really to stop e5, and I've seen this idea appear quite a lot, putting the knight on e5 before my opponent gets a chance to play e5. But the thing here is that, is my opponent really threatening e5? Let's say here I could just play in the engine best move, which is very natural, which is like a4. And this makes a lot of sense. I guess if my opponent isn't really threatening e5, I can just take some space on the queen side and try to start a queen side expansion, which is one of the typical ideas in this type of structures. But yeah, here I was afraid of something of like e5, although e5 there's really nothing happening. I think I saw briefly this variation in my mind, and I thought, I don't really like this. Allowing her pieces to come into life, something like bishop h2, and I wasn't really a fan of this, although this is way better for me because I'm just gonna be up a pawn. Let's say knight takes on e5, I can take with the knight, and after bishop takes, I can just take on h5, and no matter where my opponent takes, I will be up a pawn. Let's say bishop takes on c3, b takes on c3, g takes on h5, and queen takes h5. I'm just up a pawn. And yeah, it should be better. But yeah, I was so stuck with the idea that I should put a knight on e5 when he's threatening e5, when she's threatening e5, sorry. But yeah, she wasn't really threatening e5 here. I could just go a4, and after e5, even just taking with the knight, I think it's just simple. I mean, I just want a pawn, you know. But okay, I made an inaccuracy. I put the knight on e5 too early. She took my knight. I took back with the bishop, and she played knight d7. I took the bishop on g7. She took. And here, you know, we get this position, which is a bit weird. I guess, like, her bishop is passive. Her knight is also a bit passive, but my bishop is also passive as well. My knight on c3 is really doing nothing in this square. So yeah, it's kind of a weird position where nothing is really happening. And here I decide to open the position, try to make use of the fact that she's a little bit uncoordinated, and I thought that if I can activate my knight, for example, to e4, I should be doing very well. Here she took on e4, I took with the knight, and she played knight f6, which kind of surprised me a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, I was expecting something else, like moving the queen to b6 or something like that. But okay, she played knight f6, and here, you know, I thought about just developing the bishop, protecting the knight, but I also thought, okay, I mean, I'm playing a higher rated opponent, like, I'm threatening to double her pawn, so I guess I should be fine there in that endgame. So I just took the knight on f6. She took back with e pawn, and yeah, here we enter this middle game where basically there's a pair of light square bishops, and we still have the major pieces on the board, the queen and the two rooks. And here I thought that I would be doing fine. I thought that probably it's equal, and there's nothing really going on, you know. If I thought that if someone would be better, it would probably be me, because she has a little bit of like weak pawns here, but okay, nothing special. Here I played c3, just I don't know if it's the best move or not. I just thought that I just wanted to, you know, play c3, open this diagonal for my queen, protect this pawn, and yeah, pretty natural move here. She played bishop e6, which was kind of annoying because yeah, I feel like in this middle game her bishop is slightly better, because like I have all my pawns on dark squares, and she has access to a lot of light square, and yeah, but okay, I decided to try to activate my bishop as well a little bit. Again, my bishop is kind of looking at her pawn, so is it well placed on f3? Was it better placed on another square? I don't know. I was really out of ideas here. And here she played queen b6, which, you know, I think it was a good order of moves. First she played bishop e6 in order for me to not have queen b3 here, which yeah, it's a little bit annoying for me to not have it, but okay, I still moved pretty quickly with b3. Here I want to point out that I had quite a significant time advantage here, probably around like 30 minutes time advantage, because she spent a lot of time in the opening, and I pretty much I didn't blitz everything, but I was pretty quick compared to her. So okay, b3, and here She strikes with a5, which I saw, I saw it coming, but this was where I was really in deep waters. I really felt like this was a critical moment for me, and yeah, slowly she's taking over the game, and yeah, this was probably my biggest time spent on a move in this game. I really spent like 30 minutes probably, so I I almost lost. I probably lost all my time advantage here, if not all, probably most of it, because I really was afraid of messing up this position, which I felt like the initiative was going towards her. And yeah, here of course she wants to play a4 at some point to kind of damage my pawn structure, uh, and you know a4 is really not an immediate threat, I think, uh, but it's annoying to kind of allow. Okay, maybe like I want to do something active to try to start some putting some pressure on her. I don't want just be to be squeezed, And here I thought about a lot of direct concrete moves. I thought about d5 here, and at first looks cool if she helps me with something like bishop takes d5, I take back, she takes, boom boom. Yeah, I feel like this would be good for me, but after looking at this for a while, I thought, okay, is this good for me? Because after rook 88, she has to be way better. Like, her rooks are very well placed on the open files. Her queen is nicely placed on b6. My queen will have to move back to f3, and she just has all the initiative. So I was like, okay, this doesn't work. Like d5 is not good. She can just take everything and be better at the end. And even something like d5 and rook 88, for example, I can't really take the bishop. And if I try to play something like c4 to try to, keep everything together, she can just take on d5, and after something like c takes d5, like I'm just worse here for sure. Like, there's not much to be said after something like rook e5. Like, I'm gonna lose the bishop, she's gonna be active, and yeah, she's just gonna be way better in up a pawn in the end. So yeah, d5 doesn't work. So after calculating for a while, I thought, okay, d5 is out of question. Thought about c4 here, which also is not a good move because of the simple rook 88. Now, how do I protect this pawn? The only way is really to push, but we get back into that last variation where here I'm just screwed. Let's say I take with the bishop just to be a little bit more different here. Bishop takes on d5, pawn takes on d5 here. This position is just better for black. Just simply rook e5. The rooks are super active, the queen is active, this pawn is falling, is way too overextended, and yeah, I'm just screwed. So okay, I thought, okay, I can't really push my pawns. Also, of course, I can't push the a pawn because this pawn is hanging, and I was a little bit running out of ideas. Then something crossed my mind, something really weird crossed my mind, which was bishop e2. And the idea was after a4 that I would play bishop c4, and I thought, okay, nice. Now I kind of challenge this bishop, and there's no more problems in this diagonal. And I thought something like bishop takes on c4, b takes on c4, and I thought, okay, this is fine. I think I'm doing good here, although I have double pawns, but she doesn't have that pressure on the a file. But here, queen b2, I saw in my calculation, I thought, okay, this is not good. Like, this is not what I want. Something like queen d3, I think she can just infiltrate and super passive, and I don't want to play this position. Like, this rook can't move, this rook can't move as well. I mean, maybe it can can move to b1, but after something like queen takes on a2, rook takes on b7, I think here my opponent is just pressing. I think she's just way better. So yeah, queen c2, bishop c2 was out of question. Not a good move, and I was kind of running out of ideas, because what do I do? As I said, I think rook b1 also crossed my mind, but I didn't like the fact that she had bishop f5 here. I can't interpose, so I have to play something like rook b2, and yeah, just a4. I thought this would be annoying. Even something like a3 I thought would be annoying, because her pawn would be very far, like very advanced, stopping all my pawns, keeping them on light squares, and my rook would be kind of weird here. So yeah, I didn't like allowing all of this, and after like 30 minutes or close to it, I just decided, okay, I think the best move and is rook e1. And yeah, it looks like, what, Rick, like you just spent 30 minutes to play rook e1, such like a normal natural move. And yeah, I mean, sometimes it is what it takes, you know. And this idea was simple. I mean, this rook was really not really doing nothing on f1, and yeah, I just want to try to challenge the open file. In a case that this bishop moves away from the e6 square, I can probably just trade rooks, or consider that. Also, I might have something like bishop e4 in the future, something like that. And I thought, okay, if she plays a4, I'll just take it. And she doesn't really have a immediate threat. And I thought, okay, next my rooks are coming to the b file, something like that. I thought, okay, here I probably am fine. Although, you know, queen a5 here, attacking this pawn, I have to play something like queen d2 maybe, and queen takes a4. But here, okay, still for me it's still very annoying position, and I feel like black's putting pressure. But I thought, okay, I mean, I had to play something. I thought, okay, rook e1, at least there's nothing concrete for her immediately, and it's a useful move anyway. So I played rook e1, and here my opponent played rook e d8, which I thought was very weird. Yeah, maybe her idea was that she wanted to move the bishop, but she didn't want to allow the trade of rooks. But yeah, just rook d8 looks and feels very passive, and I was kind of happy to see that, because I thought it wasn't really a brilliant move. Here I played queen c2, pretty okay, I thought. Here she played queen b5, and here I didn't really understand this move. I thought it was a weird move, because what is the queen doing on b5? And I would say that we probably had like 30 minutes on the clock, something like that. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 40 or something like that. I think we still had quite a bit of time. And yeah, I played bishop e2, and I offered drop, which I don't think it's a good idea. She thought for a while, and she played queen g5, which I was like shocked when I saw it. But yeah, here, of course, I didn't really love my position, and I kind of offered the draw, because yeah, I didn't think queen b5 was a good move. I thought that, okay, maybe she's also running out of ideas, but she had a really good idea in mind, which I completely missed, which was queen g5, and all of a sudden she has threats, and I don't. Her threat is bishop takes on h3, because the queen is spinning the g pawn. And yeah, this was annoying for me, because I mean, something like bishop f1 doesn't work, because she still can play bishop takes on h3, bishop f3, the same thing, she can take on h3. So yeah, here I have to do something about this queen being on g5, and I played king f1. I thought, okay, king f1, nothing is happening, I'm bringing the king closer to the center, it might be useful. And yeah, all of a sudden she plays bishop d5, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, how all of a sudden I felt like I was way worse out of nowhere. Just in 2 moves I completely missed her ideas and threats, and I just kind of collapsed. I mean, here black is slightly better, but Jesus, I just completely missed this maneuver. She really outplayed me here. Like with this queen b5, queen g5, like that was very, very clean. That was very good. Very good idea from her. And yeah, I completely missed this. And yeah, I played king f1. Here, I kind of panicked. I have to be honest. I kind of panicked after queen g5 because I really was like, what? Really? Like, what? How did this queen is on g5 all of a sudden? And here I probably should have played queen c1. This would be kind of a good move because I'm being annoying. I'm saying, if you trade queens, I'm happy. If you let me trade queens, I'm happy. So here, she would probably play something that would keep the queens on the board. I don't know. Queen h4 maybe she would play to try to keep the pressure going, maybe advance her pawns. But yeah, I think queen c1 would actually pose an interesting question for her. King f1 is bad because, yeah, she just plays bishop d5 here, and here I thought, oh my god, like, she's threatening mate in one. How did this happen? First thing that I considered was g3, which is the engine's top choice, but I didn't like this. I thought that here I would be just asking for trouble, and I thought that here I would be terminally weak and worse. The simple fact is just my light squares are just dominated, and my king is just super naked here. Yeah, I didn't like this for me at all. Although, although this looks kind of scary, she doesn't really have an immediate threat. But yeah, I just didn't like the fact that my bishop was super passive here. She has all this control over the light squares, and I didn't like this. Also, f3 is just horrible in my opinion as well. I just give the dark squares away. My bishop is just super, super weak. It's doing nothing. So here I make the radical move, which is also not good. I mean, here, it's sad, but there's no real good move that I can play and be happy about. I already messed up a little bit, and I played bishop f3. And bishop f3 is very radical because, of course, she takes and damages my pawn structure. And what? Like, I know you're probably thinking, like, what? Really? Like, do you prefer this over this? And yes, I do. I do. Why do I prefer the double pawns instead of just some weakness on the light squares? I just how can I say it? I mean, I'm just probably not a good chess player. I just was super paranoid of this diagonal being controlled by her, and yeah, I probably could play something like c4 in the near future and kick her bishop out or something like that, play rook d1, and I would probably be doing fine. But in the game I said, screw it, I don't want any light square weaknesses. I'm just gonna open my king. Here my opponent played queen h4, which makes a lot of sense, attacking my pawn on h3. I played king g2, and this was like, my idea was that, okay, my pawns on f3, f2, and h3 are weak, but she doesn't really have a way to target them and to win them easily, because she only has a queen on the attack, and the queen can't do the job alone. Something like queen g5 check. I was always like, I'll just play king f1 and I'll be fine. If she ever threatens the pawns like this, I can just play king g2, and I thought, okay, this is fine, like nothing is happening. But yeah, after king g2, she played f5, which I was like, what? f5? I thought f5 was really, really risky, and I didn't think she would play f5, which I was very happy to see. I mean, f5 makes sense because with f5 she's stopping rook e4 from happening, but the thing is that, okay, she stopped rook e4, but she just allowed me to play rook e5, and honestly, yeah, my position looks solid here. My rook is very active on e5. My other rook is gonna come to the e1 square, and all of a sudden I have good control over the e file. And okay, my king looks and probably is weak, but as I said, with the queen alone, she can't really do much damage. She has to bring another piece in. And yeah, I also want to point out that you know, in the trip that I was on, I went with some Portuguese players, some friends, and one of the players that went with us, you know, he's a very talented kid. And while I was analyzing the game, I was showing him my game. He pointed out a very nice idea for the black pieces, which the engine kind of also likes, which is a4 here, which looks ridiculous. And the point is that if I take, for example, my opponent can play rook a5 and transfer the rook here, which is very, very like creative, and I really enjoy that. Also, I mean, can bring the rook here, can bring the rook here, can bring the rook on f5, and just for 1 point, just this idea was I want to point it out because that was very, very nice. Like, I was surprised when he showed me that idea. But yeah, here I probably would be able to play something like b4 and not allow this, but yeah, it feels like she always has that type of ideas, even with just rook d5 here. But probably, yeah, rook e4 stops these kind of things. My opponent played, she played rook d5, I played rook e1, very natural, and she played rook d8. And here, a very critical moment in the game, we were starting to get lower on the clock. I would say that by this point we probably had around 15 minutes each. I feel like I had slightly more time than her. She was more of a, you know, trying to slow player, that she was trying to find really the best moves to get an advantage. She wasn't really blitzing out moves. She was just, you know, taking her time, trying to find the best moves, which is also my style. I also try to do that. I don't really feel comfortable with just blitzing out moves in such positions. But yeah, rook a8, and here I was trying to find a plan because you know, I thought about just trying to trade everything like this, and this, but after something like this takes, I really wasn't sure if I would like to allow this, because am I really doing well here? I don't think so. Just queen f4, and like, I shouldn't trade the rooks immediately. I felt like it wasn't the right time to try to simplify everything. I felt like I had to improve my position first, so I played queen d2, and here this kind of looks scary, but because I'm putting the queen under, you know, her rook's vision. Also, you know, queen d2 was also meant to kind of stop any queen f4s or queen g5 checks. Yeah, I felt like here, you know, if she can put a queen on f4, you know, it is going to be annoying for me, or even g5 check first to misplace my king and then put the queen on f4. Yeah, I really didn't want to allow that, so queen d2, I felt like it was very precise move and very good, because c5 looks scary, but I can trade everything, and now I'm probably happy. If she takes here, I'm probably even better. Someone is better is probably me, because her queen is just super misplaced, and you know, I'm gonna infiltrate and start picking up pawns. Like, she has to go into damage control now because this is not looking good. Okay, but this of course didn't happen in the game. She played queen f6 rather quickly. Here I thought for a long while to play queen d2, I really did. And she quickly played queen f6, which kind of put me a little bit under pressure because, you know, we were really, you know, going back and forth with the time advantage here. I don't know if she was with a little bit of time advantage or if it was me or if we were on the same page. I feel like we had around like 10 minutes or something like that here, so things were starting to get really tense. And here I just played f4. I really didn't know if this was a good move, but my idea was really to just plant this rook here and have no problems with any, you know, sacks here, and then having like a queen hanging at the end, something like that. She played queen d6. She thought for a while here, I think, and queen d6 is a little bit of a tricky move. The thing here is that now she's probably threatening c5, because let's say I do a random move like what random move can I make? Let's say rook e2, for example. Here, you know, she has c5, and now the story is a little bit different, because if I take the rook on d5, she has queen d5 check, and yeah, now I have to move my king. Let's say I do king g1 here, she can take on d4 in order to prevent this whole idea with c5 and check on d5. I played this very quiet, simple prophylactic move, king g1, and I was like, okay, show me what you got. Like, what are you gonna do now? Like, c5 now doesn't really work the same way because I don't get it with check. Very important. And here she played c5 again, and I was like, okay, I just told you I just told you that it didn't work, so let's go, let's see what you got. Boom, boom, boom. And here she played queen f3, and I was like, what? Queen f3? She's just giving me a pawn like this? And now things start to get really intense, because she was getting really low on the clock. When I say really low, here she probably had like 1 minute on the clock. And she really took a lot of time in the last moves. I think she took a lot of time to play c5, which I think she probably regretted, because not a good move. After king g1, not a good move. And here, you know, I still had some time, actually, which was very useful for me. I had like 6 minutes here. She had like 1 minute. And I was like, this feels like very critical. This feels like someone is gonna get mated or lose the game in the next like 5 moves. This really felt like that. I was really, you know, under a lot of pressure. She was also under a lot of pressure. You just could see us in our faces, in our body expressions, you know, body language. We were really very like tense. And here I thought about taking the pawn with rook on c5, but first I thought about more you know, more like passive ideas. I thought about something like king h2, which I just said that this has to be wrong. Something like c takes on d4, c takes on d4. I thought that this, you know, was not it. My king is really misplaced. My queen is tied up to this pawn, so nope, this is not good. Also thought about trading the queens with something like queen e3, because if she took here, I mean, oof, I would be super happy with this. Let's say she even took here. I mean, this is like perfect. Like this is perfect for me. But of course she wouldn't do that. Here after queen e3, I saw that she had queen d1 check, and this was very annoying for me. All of a sudden c takes on d4 and I'm losing this pawn. So, you know, this is not what you want. I'm losing this pawn, so queen e3 doesn't work. Also rook e3 doesn't work. Just queen takes on f4. She just won a pawn. X-ray, very bad. So, you know, I just came to the conclusion that, okay, I have to take the pawn on c5. I took the pawn on c5. He kind of, was hard for me because I'm like I tried to always be very solid and stuff like that, not risk too much, but I just had to do it. I knew that it had to be the best move and the best try. Here she took on h3, and here I played queen e2, which I'm very proud of. I think queen e2 is a very nice move, but was very nice stopping queen g4 check. I mean, she can play queen g4 check, but in this case we will trade queens. Also, I was hinting at some, rook c7 followed by maybe queen e5 check, queen f6, trying to mate her, maybe also just bring the queen to e7, very active, making threats. So I thought queen e2 was very nice, practical move. Here she played b6, and here I played rook c7 with the idea of doing infiltrations on the e file. But here she played queen g4 check, I took, she took, and I played queen rook c6. And here, also analyzing with some other players, why they were like, why didn't you play rook c6 here? Because in the same variation here, she can't do this because she just loses a pawn, and like you're clearly better. And that's true, but honestly, I was also getting low on the clock, although not so low, I still had time, but I also wanted to put pressure on her because she was really down to second, so I didn't see that after rook c7. No, I didn't really even calculate this idea of trading queens. I wasn't really looking at that. So yeah, I just played rook c7, but okay, like, it's not a winning move, rook c6, by any means. Of course, that she shouldn't trade the queens here, but she has other moves like b5, for example. If I take on b5, queen g4 check, king f1, queen d1 check, and this is kind of perpetual, but it's scary. So yeah, okay, this happened in the game, and after rook c6, b5, I thought that here I was winning. So like, this endgame is so crazy, like my king side is so bad, and she also has her own passed pawn here. It's tough. Also, her rook can infiltrate. Like, it's a super tough endgame, rook endgame to play with such low time on the clock, honestly. But yeah, here I still had like 4 or 5 minutes. She had like seconds, like crazy. b5, I played the rook b6 here. I didn't want to play rook c5 because of b4 here, and I thought this wasn't really good for me. Of course, if I take here a takes b4, I didn't really like this. This pawn is weak. Something like d5 here would probably run into rook a8, and if I start to push these pawns, she's in time to stop them. Yeah, here, like, I'm just worse, and if I try to be sneaky with rook d5 first, she probably can go back to a8, and yeah, this pawn is not going anywhere. Yeah, it's tough. Also, something like takes, and when I push d5, maybe she isn't even has h5, and it's crazy. Yeah, this is just better for black, so I didn't want to allow that. So I played rook b6. In this case, b4 is not as good. It looks kind of the same, but it's not as good because now, like, I just take on b4 before it takes on d4, something like that. So okay, I played rook b6, but here she plays rook d5, and I was kind of stun locked. I thought that this was a very nice move because all of a sudden I thought, oh my god, am I worse all of a sudden? Like, what is going on? I really thought, like, I started panicking. I thought, oh my god, what is my doing? My sorry. Like, this is very exciting, man. Just reliving this game. I was like, what is my rook doing on b6? Like, dude, no. Like, what is my rook doing on b6? I thought that my rook was really misplaced on b6. And I thought that the rook was like super well placed on d5, kind of stopping everything. I thought about moving my king up, but I was so afraid of like something like h5, h4, king h6, king getting closer, the pawns rolling down the board. I thought about f3 as well, just sacrificing the pawn to get it back and activate my king, but h5, like I was just so afraid of all of this, and I was really getting because I was like, what is going on? So I played a4, which I thought it was like a brilliant move during the game, although it's not that good. It's just okay, it's a normal move, but like if she just captures it, she's fine. So yeah, captures, and here, yeah, she's pressing. She has advantage here. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just moved my king, tried to improve my king, but I panicked. I have to admit, I just panicked completely. Here, okay, I was down to like 2 minutes or 1 minute as well. Like we were just playing blitz at this point. Even not even blitz, probably just bullet. And in this super complicated rook endgame. Here after b takes on a4, she played h5, and oh my god, the pressure is starting to build. Like she's moving her passed pawns down the board. My passed pawns are kind of stuck because she's just blocking them. The king is probably gonna start coming in, and yeah, I start panicking here. I mean, I just played rook b5. I thought, okay, this is like a brilliant move, because if she takes boom 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 boom, my queen first. So here I cannot be worse. Like I'm sure that I'm doing fine here, but okay, not so soon. Here after queen b8, you know, she has queen a1 check, and I completely missed this in calculation. I thought that I didn't even look at this, honestly. And after something like king g2, she can take on c3, and she's clearly better. She's clearly the only one that's pushing for a win. Queen e5 check, for example. Yeah, she can just play king h7, and what am I really doing here? Not much. It's tough, man. It's really tough. Okay, thankfully she probably also missed that she would make a queen with check. I would say she probably missed that as well. She played rook d8, which is exactly what I wanted her to play. I wanted her to, you know, back out of not trading rooks. And now I take on a5, and I thought, oh my god, like I'm up a pawn, I'm gonna win this. Like I have just so many passed pawns, so many threats, and she just played h4 here, and I thought, oh my god, okay, but here I just move my rook to b5, for example, and now I'm gonna start pushing. I'm gonna start pushing every pawn, boom boom boom, and nothing can stop me, right? But here she played rook e8, and I had like 1 minute on the clock, something like that, and I was like, oh my god, what is going on? Should I play a5? Should I play king g2? Should I just play rook e5, not stop her from infiltrating? And I was just so nervous, I was just so exhausted. I just played rook e5, rook b8, rook b5, rook e8, rook e5, rook b8, and here we agreed to a draw. And it was a draw after this incredible fight, but crazy, like here, it feels like I should push for a win, but how do I really push for a win, right? Actually, this was a good decision, also with so little time on the clock. Yeah, I just didn't want to risk it, even though I'm up a pawn. I mean, that really doesn't mean much, because she also has her threats, So yeah, we ended up drawing this game, which was crazy. I was very happy with this result because I was under some pressure in the middle game, and I managed to just somehow pull out some good moves in a worst position and draw, almost maybe winning. Almost I could have won, but not really. Yeah, but yeah, that was the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed this marathon of a game. Like, Jesus. So pretty much I stayed undefeated with the Jobava London in this tournament. I got 1 win and 2 draws. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, then the last game that I played that I'm going to show you guys in the next episode was with the black pieces, and there was one white game where I didn't play the Jobava. So yeah, Jobava undefeated. You know, case closed. Best opening ever. I never lose with the Jobava alone. So yeah, what else do you need? So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Very long video indeed, but yeah, it just was a very interesting and complicated game that I had to really show all the ideas behind it. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.